We have in our constitution, which is the supreme law of the land, various articles written down, incorporated into our constitution, which have spoken of providing equal opportunities to both men and women, in all social, cultural and educational fields. But has this really brought in a change in the lives of women? And the answer simply remains no. As somebody had rightly said, the life of a woman, right from the womb to the tomb, is a tale of tears. We all know discrimination that has been going on against the girl child in the world today. It is not a particular phenomenon only in India or in the developing countries, but I'm sure this is a phenomenon across the world. Particularly in a country like India, which is predominantly a patriarchal society, the minute the woman conceives, the various scientific advancements have been put to test in trying to find out if the fetus in the womb is a girl or a boy. And the minute it has been identified to be a girl, we have one of the most heinous crimes being committed, which is the abortion. Even if the girl child survives the abortion, she breathes, she's born. Considering her stay in her parents' house, a very transitant stay, there is discrimination between the male child and the female child that happens in the homes in the Indian families. You would be surprised to know that in the remote areas from where I come from, we have heard stories of the male child being breastfed for longer years, if I may be allowed to say, than the girl child. And the simple reason is that it is believed that it is the male child who would carry the family name forward. Even after the girl child grows up, there is discrimination between the girl and the boy, where the girl child is not given the nutritious food which she is supposed to be given. And Dr. Hegde had actually emphasized on the necessity of giving nutritious food to the girl child. Unfortunately, she is deprived, and the nutritious food is actually given to the boy. The girl child is forced to go to a government school, but the boy is sent to the best private school possible. And this is believing that a woman was brought closer to the seat of decision making, to the seat of power, and she was given a 33% reservation in the local bodies. And today we see them exceed the 33% and in some places have even reached the 50% posts. It was then felt that probably we need to make them economically independent, and feeling so, the microfinance system for the women self-help groups was introduced in India, which is a great success story today, where women in rural India are able to stand on their own feet, not only being able to fend for themselves, but being able to usher in a sea change in their lives, in their families. But has this actually answered all the questions that we have been putting forth? And the answer would still remain no. We still hear of infanticides, we still hear of feticides, we still hear of bride beating, bride burning, we still hear of abortions. Then the question is, what next? Where do we go from here? What is the answer to all of this? And to my mind, nothing can be better. There can be no better answer to all this than education. Education that can actually teach the woman to have conviction in herself, to believe in herself, to be able to believe that she is no less than her male counterpart. Probably she could have some physical restrictions and constraints, but when it comes to mental and physical power, she is no less than her male counterpart. It is that kind of a conviction that we need to give the woman through education. We need to give her the kind of education that will give her the belief that she can do anything she wants to without fear of being pushed aside or brushed aside either by her family or her society. It is the kind of education that we need to give the woman to fight for her rights, to learn, to know about the various legislations, about the various laws, rules, regulations that are in place to actually give her a better life. Even as I was sitting and talking with Sri Karthikeyan ji, he was mentioning of some countries where women were even treated like animals, like slaves. Well, we all sitting here in India would very depressingly think that this is very particularly so happening in India. But then we need to realize that this has been happening across the country, across the globe, in almost probably all countries, but we talk more about it in India as a developing country and probably not so much with the developed countries. And therefore, it is important that we realize the importance of education, the right kind of education, the kind of education that Swami Vivekananda spoke about when he said, education is the panacea for all things evil. The kind of education that Swami Vivekananda spoke about was not the kind of education that we speak of today, which is related simply to the school, the classroom, the textbook, or the marks that the child gets. But the education that Swami Vivekananda spoke about is the education that provides the holistic development of both the mental and physical development of the woman.